Easily the most pressing matter for the earth to deal with right now is the situation in Gaza. Why is it the most pressing? It is a genocide. It is currently happening as we're talking. And it frankly has been a rolling conflict that springs up whenever it gets the opportunity. Whenever it's like a disease that you're always infected with. And when your immune system goes down, that's when the disease springs up. It's like you have a low grade cancer. Let's ignore the majority of the background to this. Let's ignore the 1967 war, where Palestinian territory was captured and never given back. Let's ignore the 80s, the 90s. Let's just deal with October 6th until now. I want to talk to the people of America, and presumably I have the majority of the human race listening to this podcast, so the people of Israel and the people of the Gaza Strip. Gaza is an incredibly complicated situation, and unfortunately, at the same time, urgent, as in immediate, action is needed. This is a recipe for letting stereotypes flourish, because a great deal of information must be condensed in order to make a decision. You need lots of factions boiled down to simple descriptions, so you can choose quickly what to do. I hear some people being defensive of or offensive to Jews and Arabic people as a whole. This is because they do not understand who is, broadly, at fault here. Well, sadly, we do have enough experience with this specific situation to be able to generalize accurately. The right wing is killing civilians in Gaza. The right wing killed civilians at that concert. There were two things that needed to be accomplished. Rather, there was two things that were going to be accomplished. Whether they needed to be or not is irrelevant. They were going to be accomplished. Revenge for the initial attack. 1,400 dead. Revenge for that. And safety. The guaranteed future safety of the Israeli people. Forget whose government they fall under. I just mean the human beings in their houses. Their safety needs to be guaranteed. 1,400 people were rounded up and killed. That's a slaughter. They're not wrong to insist that this be taken care of. Let's talk about the revenge part. Revenge for the initial attack has been fulfilled. Benjamin Netanyahu chose to take revenge without destroying those who were actually responsible for the attack. That is a failure of the Israeli people to elect a leader who leads well. When was the election? A couple years ago. The attack, which was ordered by Hamas, is a failure of the Palestinian people to elect a leader who leads well. That was in 2006. But regardless, it's over now. Revenge has been taken. If you are angry, if you're watching this in Israel and you're angry, and you say revenge has not been taken, we haven't got to the people that ordered the attack, I agree. You should. You should get those people. But that's not revenge, that's justice. Justice doesn't always take patience, but sometimes it does. Justice means doing the right thing, rather precisely. And Benjamin Netanyahu choosing to attack the whole area, he's fulfilled the revenge quota. Consider this: 1,400 Israelis killed, another 200 kidnapped. So far, 10,000 Palestinians killed. So at a rate of about 5-1, I'm way rounding down. At a rate of about 5-1, revenge has been taken. Hamas attacked Israel, and Hamas attacked the civilians of Israel, holding the civilians responsible for the actions of the government. Then Netanyahu attacked Gaza, not Hamas, Gaza, and killed 5 times as many so far. Civilians. That was the revenge. It's done. The thing to do now is to cease fire, release the hostages, save the lives of anyone who can carry a rifle, and post them at your border. Give each country time to replace their leaders and go about the work of replacing your leaders. Israel, get rid of Netanyahu. Gaza, toss out Hamas. The whole world will be happy to help both of those parties replace both of those leaders. Then have the decent people negotiate. Have left-wingers. Left wing from Gaza, left wing from Israel. Put them in charge because right-wingers are, frankly, evil. And we cannot afford evil anymore. Left-wingers, decent human beings. In peace, 2 left-wing parties can negotiate calmly about what to do with their territory's former leaders. At that point, justice. Netanyahu, Hamas. Justice through the court systems, through mutual cooperation. But we cannot have the equivalent of MAGA for Israel and MAGA for Gaza and expect them to achieve anything except killing. Hamas, who chose to kill 1,400 civilians. Netanyahu, who chose to kill 10,000 civilians so far in response. Both have committed crimes that must be addressed before a sincere discussion of peace can take place, and neither party will allow peace while they are in power. It will not be easy to replace your leaders. But those countries that are true allies of your people will assist, which may take the form of simply not assisting your current leadership in oppressing their own people when they take over. Until you can replace your leaders, your priorities are to cease fire, return the hostages, and then militarize your border. You militarize your border. You put people at guns, or you put people at the border with guns pointing in the other direction, a strip of about 15 blank feet in between them, so that another attack does not occur. You guarantee the immediate safety. Now, however, is not the time to finish the conversation. Now is the time to set the conversation aside to stop the madness. The conversation will be finished when you put calm, rational left-wingers in charge. Over here in the United States, you have a clear example of why you should do that. When we made the same mistake Netanyahu is making right now, we had a psychopath right-winger in charge. Look at us now. We have right-wingers in charge of our House of Representatives, where it is utter chaos. The Senate and the presidency, not so. And whether or not you agree with their decisions, they're running smoothly. You don't need conservatives in charge, Israel. Gaza, you don't need conservatives in charge. You should not have them. Do what you can to replace those leaders. But in the meantime, all of us around the world should contact our representatives and quite simply tell them one thing. Ceasefire.